All right, good morning, everyone. Is everyone on board? I got me, looks like. Is that John?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. Michelle, Coleman, Jeff, is Jeff Price here?
Yeah.
Ryan, good. Shelley. Okay, we're 10 minutes past. Sorry for my connectivity issues, but the bank's Wi-Fi just wasn't gonna support the Zoom. Let's call the meeting to order. And got a lot we're gonna try to plow through on this meeting. Let's see here. So call the roll for the board. Coleman Briers.
I'm here, sorry, I was on mute.
That's fine. Present. Okay. Present. Jeff Price.
Present.
Jane.
Present.
She's here in person. Susan is here in person.
Present and accountable.
And so we have not only a quorum, we have all board members in attendance for the meeting. And I'll take it on the chin. I do not have our minutes from the transcriptionist done yet, so I'm gonna have to call a special Zoom meeting just to approve the minutes for the prior board. I'll do that via Zoom. Old business accounting firm engagement. The board's last meeting had approved switching accounting firms. Jane and I will get to that later in this, but Jane and I, after reviewing a lot of the financial documents we're going to talk to and interacting with the accounting firm, we felt it was best to postpone that to the end of the fiscal year. We have found a lot of items that require additional information from the accountants. The accountants have been very cooperative. They have kept their current invoicing down to $1,000 a month, which is what, we had 27,000 last year. And so they have kept it as agreed. We can still do better with Robertson Andreoli with $750 a month, but I didn't really want to bring Christopher, Jane agreed, into a quasi-audit situation. And so that's kind of, we still plan on making that transition, but literally the more we've gotten into it, the more questions, the more charges that we're having to see what they have backup on, what they don't have backup on. So anyway, that is pending, and we're going to get into some of the financial later. But I've talked to Christopher; he's on the ready to go. But I think what we can do best is make that transition in August, going into September. So as of October 1, they can do it for a better rate. Salt Air versus Robinson litigation. Michelle, you there?
Yes.
Okay, and Sam, you're there too. So Sam has been representing the board and kind of got things straightened out last fall when we had gotten notice of coverage denial, and we apparently did not have representation at a mediation. You may recall I ran into a judge in the parking lot in October, retired judge, who was the mediator, and his question was, I understand you're the new president, why weren't you all at mediation? And I said, I have no idea what you're talking about. And that was a chain of events that we had to jump on. We have recently produced, thank you, Susan. Susan, close that door. We recently had some discovery, and essentially, the scope of the discovery request was so broad, it went all the way back to 2015. So we produced, I don't know what the final number was, we were pushing 4,000 documents and, the
7,770.
oh, there you go, 7,770 documents. So I really went bow-legged and blind looking at these documents and going through them. There was a batch, Susan had a computer. John Mims had handed off to me. I don't think John had turned it on. If I remember, he said he hadn't even turned it on. But it had old records and just minutes and just stuff on it. So I took that whole server and had it transition. There was an old file cabinet that had documents that went back to the origin of the COA. And that had been given by me to John Rice in 2019, I think, after my dad died and I stepped off the board when I moved to Magnolia Springs. That had been added to by others, maybe John, maybe Susan, maybe other board members. So that whole file cabinet was physically delivered to ProLegal, copied and bank stamped. There were 2 notebooks that Kelly Deere and John Mims had given me back last June when they had stepped down and I'd taken back over June 2nd. Those were all copied, plus there were other documents that I had, emails, correspondence that I had on my server. So yeah, collectively I didn't realize it got that large, but almost 8,000 documents. Now, on a side note, I have talked to a consultant that I know is on a board that I'm on in Mobile, and he does document management, and he's gonna help me at no cost to set up a accessible file document storage where every owner has a login. And originally I was thinking about, putting these historic documents on there until I realized how much data that was gonna be, almost 8,000 pages. So what my recommendation is that we do on that is we just pick a start date. We put the core documents for the association on there, obviously the core documents, and add, current things. But what I'd like to do is just if anybody wants a full set of everything, Sam can send out the same link that we sent in the discovery to all the owners, and then you can download the 7,700 and what pages of documents if you just want your own digital record of everything that I know exists to my knowledge. And we can do that, but data storage on the Google Drive comes at a cost. And if we dump that much on there, it's gonna be a significant cost for maintaining it. And I think it's just smarter to have a Google Drive set up that's more current and add key documents and current information, and then it can be updated as we get like new insurance policies or whatever. We can kind of update it and archive the old stuff. So we're not basically paying for a lot of data storage. But anyway, that was kind of an aside on the data thing. But Sam, do you want to, or Michelle, either one of y'all would like to weigh in on giving a snippet of where we are with this litigation?
Sure. I'll let Michelle talk too, because she hadn't, I don't believe, introduced herself or been to one of these, but just high points. We're still set for jury trial November 9th, discovery deadline of August. As Mark said, we just did a large discovery production. That what has come out of that, Robinson has now filed a motion to amend their counterclaim, adding Nathan individually for some fraud allegations. Court has not ruled on that. The court has to allow that to be amended if it's going to be allowed. And Saltair has filed a motion to mediate the case, to resume mediation, because the last one wasn't fruitful. Robinson opposed it, saying we're not ready, we need some more discovery, and they wanted to obviously amend their counterclaim. So court set everything for a status on June 3rd for all attorneys to appear and talk about the status of the case, and that will bring about something. So that's the next.
And Michelle, did I just see a recent motion you filed to continue the June 3rd hearing due to a vacation?
Yeah, I'm out of town that whole week. I think was that the one where they agreed and said as long as the court will appoint a mediator and a deadline,
Yeah.
they didn't object.
Right,
Yeah,
that, I
so-
saw that come
There
across.
were that two that ended up getting set that day. This was one of them, but yeah, I'm in, where am I? I'm in Wisconsin.
So we're either gonna have a status conference with all the attorneys and the judge, and status conference is just where you look at the scheduling, you look at what discovery needs to be done, whether the case goes to trial in November, whether it's ready to be, or it needs to be continued. Motions like adding Nathan, apparently, who filed that? Robinson filed that, adding Nathan as a,
Daniel Craig.
Daniel Craven filed it, adding, on behalf of Robinson, adding that claim. So anyway, that may happen, or the court could just say, based on Michelle's request to postpone that and appoint the mediator, is resume the mediation, which is the one we didn't show up to in October inadvertently. No, but we didn't, as far as the board, even know about it. There was a changing of attorneys within Michelle's firm, and it just, the notice didn't get out. And so we had an empty chair at the table, apparently.
Mark, who is Michelle with?
What's your firm, Michelle?
It's Furnace and Bowling. I'm in the, primarily in the Pensacola office.
And who does she represent?
She represents the association
Mhm.
on the covered claims.
For the, like, under the D&O insurance?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
Yes,
And
and D&O, defense, that we turned it over to the carrier. One carrier denied, but this, I don't know which carrier it is, I don't know who you're
It
billing.
is. I think it's Philadelphia, but let me just make sure.
but-
okay, I just didn't know who Michelle was.
Yeah, so she's representing the board, but there are other claims, there are counterclaims that
Sure.
the board filed, et cetera, and the, insurance defense doesn't cover counterclaims.
Understood.
So there's some other issues pending, but, that is, that's kind of where the case is as far as the posture of it. I know that, I don't know how many depositions have been taken. There was some discussion about needing to take more, do more discovery, but then there was this effort to mediate it. So, I assume Judge Floyd would be the same mediator. He was the one originally appointed by the court to mediate it. He was the one that informed me we didn't show up last fall.
Somebody told me he's back on the bench, that he couldn't mediate.
Oh, shit, you're right. You know
I think
what?
it was this, I think it was when I asked to reset it, maybe in this case, they said he can, he's back on the bench, which is why we're trying to get.
You're right. I thought it was the April Fool's joke, because it was on April 1st that he was going back to the bench, and I sent him the article, and I said, please tell me this is April Fool's joke, and he said, no, it's not April Fool's joke. I've taken an interim position on the district court bench pending the governor appointing replacements and elections and whatever, so they don't get so far behind on the docket,
Yeah, 'cause he-
because,
He
so
called
you're
me
no,
about-
okay.
Yeah, he called me about this mediation, gave me the update, because he heard I was taking the case.
Gotcha.
So I have some notes from, him filling me in on what happened.
Okay,
And I
yeah.
say, I have some settlement authority, I gotta mediate, an adjuster kind of pushing, like, just see if you can settle it, but, I haven't obviously done anything with it. It's $25,000, just FYI at this point, without me even, asking for anything.
Right.
Probably him looking at cost of defense, I don't know, so there's at least gonna be some money when we do go to a mediation.
Okay. That's good. I think we're gonna need a little bit. Okay, well, we will, so we don't even have a meeting. The court has not appointed a replacement for Lang, obviously. Since has he notified the court, like any filings, that he's not available anymore?
I haven't seen anything, I just saw that come from plaintiff's counsel who responded. I would assume the judge would know, But we did put, I think Carrie filed it yesterday afternoon, we put in there that they didn't object, but they were asking for him to go ahead and appoint a mediator, set a deadline. So that's in my motion that we filed yesterday.
Okay, anyone need any additional update other than what Sam and Michelle have provided? And we'll give you more when we have more, but it sounds like we really won't know more for a few more weeks about any of this. Okay, let me get back to the next. Thank you, Michelle. You're welcome to hang around if you would like to hang around, but we're gonna move on with the business of the day.
I think I will leave y'all to it. I've got some stuff to get done. I got a depot this afternoon, so, we'll be in touch. Thanks.
Thank you much. All right, bye. Okay, dumpster containment. We had talked previously, and I think the prior board had talked about dumpster containment, looking at options, since Susan was on her, exploratory expedition, with fuel systems and tanks and enclosures. I took the opportunity to grab the Hagen Fence guy, Steve Trawick, and get him to provide an estimate on an enclosure for the dumpsters. The on the 7-day pickup that we have now, it seems to be working fine. I keep my eye, go out there and after, early in the morning before they pick up. I say that having two with Susan's. I watched them dump Susan's the other day, and it was a lot of stuff came out of Susan's. Big dumpster over there. If it weren't for that, I don't think our two would work, because it was a lot of material came out
Yeah,
of that.
increasing our pickup starting next week, so.
Yeah, it was a lot. So she's kind of monitoring and paying, remember, separately for that. But in any event, the enclosure, which would be, now I did ask when I talked with him, I think you have 1x4 material on your enclosure. I asked that to be sturdier, you have 1x4 to go to 2x6,
Mhm.
heavier, around that because of the traffic and just the use. I was concerned about, well, it's not just sitting there like a fence, but it's gonna be used a lot. It'll be a metal gate frames, horizontal boards. The back curb, would be cut and putting a barrier so dirt doesn't wash into that drain. We do have a drain there. The cost to, get it all done, including 2 bollards, which are the steel bumpers out front so people don't run into it, kind of protect it, core drilled in the concrete, 6 and 5/8 inch bollards. The total was $7,225 to get that done. I think we should do it. It would make the area much more attractive than just having the dumpsters loosely laying out there. Todd has been staying really on top of the degreasing and power washing around it, so we haven't had all the accumulation we were dealing with last year with grease on it. But that's the quote on it. I don't know how the board feels about that, but he is able to start on the 28th. I was trying to get a lot of things done before Memorial Day, but you know how it is, herding cats and contractors and getting bids and estimates and following up, and it's been a lot. So anyway, he can start on the 28th if y'all want to get those enclosed. It'll look nice.
Hey, Mark, what kind of metal is that, frame?
It says, let me see, hold on, I saw it somewhere.
I think we want aluminum, so it's not
Gate-
correct.
Gate post, let me see, gate post will be 4-inch black SS40 post. So it's SS stainless steel.
Yes.
That'd be awesome if it was.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be like what mine is, Mark.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be the same material
I'm sure it'll be the
Susan
same.
used, but it's a black painted, like powder coated black
I mean, that's-
stainless steel framing, and then they attach the wood to the metal frame, like when they did
I
hers.
just don't want that cheap, I want regular steel, which obviously is gonna rust out in a few years.
Mm.
Just, powder coat is great, it ain't gonna last, so whatever underneath it is gonna be, needs to be something that's non-corrosive, so if we're paying for this, that it lasts a long time.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, they have it all, like these stainless steel posts, and they did a professional job on Susan's. I was really impressed. I watched them put it up. I mean, to me, for 72, I thought it'd be twice that much, actually.
Yeah, that's
$7,200
very
to get that done, and it will just, I think, greatly, there's so much traffic there, and sometimes when they don't have containment, depending on the driver, they'll leave them at different angles and taking up too much parking, this'll keep things kinda,
Probably
real.
gonna wanna put a camera on it.
We have one, there's already,
Tears it up.
yeah, there's already a camera on it, on that post right behind it.
How long does he say it will take to, cause that's a Thursday that he would be starting, so I'm just curious.
He told me 3 days,
Okay,
is what he told me.
I'm just curious.
Yeah, he told me he got it done in 3 days,
Okay.
once they got
As
started.
long as the material's stainless, I'm for it.
Yeah,
I'm for it. That's a very reasonable price. I would expect it as well.
yeah, so, okay, does Coleman, you like to make a motion to approve that?
I move, make a motion, prove it subject to being a stainless steel metal framing, the post.
Okay,
Second.
Coleman, Susan second. Okay, any further discussion?
I had just a member at large suggestion. Y'all go finish your vote, I apologize.
Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, any opposed? Okay, that's unanimous, for the fence. I'll let Mike know, and I'll try to coordinate that, and he understands
Steve.
Steve Travick, he understands the
Mike's doing
traffic, and I told him, I said, basically, once the switch is flipped, Memorial Day, I mean, it's not even safe hardly to walk through the parking lot. I mean, people come flying through there, and the Snapper starts to open this next
Friday. for
Friday,
everybody.
and it just, all hell breaks loose. It's really weird. It's like, it's kinda quiet, and then it's on. And so, maybe he can, access a little bit from the gravel and parking lot, and maybe he can
Well, that's
access.
gonna get full too.
Yeah.
'Cause all my people start parking Monday in the gravel.
Yeah, and I may just have to coordinate with him to work at odd hours, like, you need to be out there at 6 AM and be gone by 10 AM or
Well,
something
I was
like
gonna say,
that.
they were pretty good with our stuff, and if they needed to, well, they can't do that, but, they were good about taking the trailer at night if they needed to. There was one night I had to have them take the trailer or something, and so, I mean, and Steve has a place down here where he could, I think, keep stuff if he needed to take a trailer at night or something. But I can't imagine that project would take that too long. Gonna be
Okay,
more
so,
drilling,
let's-
put some post in.
Let's get on.
Can I
with-
just, cause
Yeah,
Todd and
okay, that's fine. I'm
well, it's
just
really,
trying
it'll take 30 seconds, 50
Okay.
words or less, just cause Todd and I see him working all the time on that, and, we just, there's that concrete spot there, like, where you could access it from the hotel side, the gravel side.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it's possible or not, but, I mean, they let us use that, if they picked up from there, came through the gravel and faced the dumpsters,
I don't think I
that,
get that.
you don't think that'll work for that? Okay. It's worth a shot.
Yeah.
That would
I understand
eliminate
what
Todd
you're
having to
saying,
clean the
Yeah, no, I don't see
driveway
that
every day.
as a possibility.
Okay.
So exterior signage review, we have several, pending. Let's start with Ryan, Alexander. Ryan, are you on the call?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so, I'm pulling your photo up. Just give us a thumbnail of, what you're requesting, if you would, please, sir.
Basically, it's gonna be not be backlit or anything. It'll just be a metal sign on the front of building A, between the two balconies on the front side. Actually, the sign will be basically what my background is. Just simply our logo. We don't have an address or phone number, anything like that. It'll be just our logo.
Okay, and that's the, I had it right. Can you put that for everyone to see? Are you able to do that?
Just trying to find-
Share.
What the image.
Yeah, I'm trying to see, I have that, I'm just trying to pull it up. Yeah, your image, and just your logo, just so everyone sees your logo.
Transportation.
One second here.
And the only question I have is the same kind of question Coleman had about the material
So is this gonna be a flat sign? I mean, all of our other signs are
or
box.
box.
And we've had this and I mean, I'm not opposed to him having a sign, but that's the only building that has these,
Yeah.
because that
I
real,
like the look of the box with the light.
who was that other there was another real estate company that put a flat sign on there, and I think Vacation Rentals has a flat sign
It
up
looks-
there now.
They look terrible.
It doesn't match, and that's I mean,
That's a legitimate, can you hear Susan, Ryan?
Very, very softly, but.
Yeah, it's essentially her, you know, and it is kind of a slippery slope. Historically, we've tried to keep
I don't like that.
all the signage in these sign boxes, I guess, for lack of better words, these backlit frame boxes.
Okay.
And,
But he's-
there have been, yeah, I know it's more efficient cost-wise, but there have been, multiple kind of signs, just flat signs stuck on the walls popping up, and Susan believes, and I don't disagree with that, it doesn't look as nice as a box. Would you be, able to put that in a kind of a similar framed box backlit there as opposed to just a flat metal sign?
So you took it,
There's plastic art, Pensacola, and what's the guy in Orange Beach?
Oh, the guy in Pensacola.
modern signs.
Modern signs. He's
Yeah.
typically a little more expensive than the plastic art.
Plastic Arts is the one in Pensacola.
Yeah.
They-
I know from the estimate we had, I mean, we're just trying to not spend arm and leg on this, obviously.
it's,
The price was about triple to
But,
go from just plain sign versus the backlit, not even including, what to hire an electrician separately to, you know, drill through the wall and all that to
Right.
get power up.
There should be, now I don't know in that location,
a power box.
there are power boxes
I was thinking there was one up there.
on the
one
building.
time.
Have you looked on the outside and see if there's a power box in that location, Ron?
Well, there's gotta be one, cause my sign's below there.
Yeah,
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, worst case scenario, we could do, you know, possibly maybe conduit from the steamer sign up to ours, if that's something y'all would, you know, be okay with.
I'm trying to, I mean, I don't think we want exposed conduit, but I think there are some capped, covered, whatever you call them, flat covered, deadhead, flat covered outlets on the building for signs.
and they want,
Okay.
are y'all wanting one, so they want one that's south facing on the outside, are they gonna put one?
I think that was it, you just wanted one on the south elevation, right?
Yes, the one facing, the main road, yes, sir.
Yeah, okay, well, you know, let's do this, or, let's go ahead so you can make decisions you wanna make. We have a motion to approve, a box sign, backlit box sign for the face, you know, installed and connected at, I guess that's Onyx is the company, right? Right,
Yes, sir.
Onyx, cost, that is compatible with the design of the other sides in the complex.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not trying to be
No, it's a
a
legit.
roadblock, but when that one sign went up on the building years ago, I was like, who in the, let that happen?
No, I know,
It just looks bad.
and it does.
We gotta keep a standard.
Yeah.
You gotta keep it, if not, it's just gonna be a high divide and
About
look
the
like
same thing, and I told
um,
him it needed to be.
severe will force over this.
That's right. No, and that we were really good about that for a while, and then it seems like that kind of, we went down a path where we weren't really paying attention to it, and so that is, yeah, so, okay, I'll make a motion to approve the sign for Onyx, Ryan Alexander on the south elevation of the A building in a shadow box, sort of, a box frame backlit, consistent with the design of the other similar, signs in the courtyard. Is there a
I'll
second?
second.
Jane seconds, any further discussion? Okay, all in favor say aye. Any opposed? Okay, unanimous. Okay, Ryan, I hope that meets your needs, buddy.
It does, thank y'all.
Okay, all right, thank you. The next sign I believe that we have is Steamer, Steamer has a sign right above its patio. And Jeff, you're on the call, correct? Yeah, you're on the call.
Yes.
Which
You know,
patio?
I have noticed without saying that his existing sign has been there a long time, and it's become very faded. And so Jeff, tell us what your intent is with that sign facing the
What I was looking to do is,
Oh,
the
okay.
company,
That's
what was his name, Mark?
Plastic Art Design,
Yeah,
I
plastic.
believe.
You're right, they're significantly lower than, modern signs. What it would basically do is put a LED, it would be the logo, it wouldn't be it'd be not in the box, but it'd be a LED to really pop out there. It'd be the same sign that's up with the shrimp and Gulf Shore Steamer, but it wouldn't be in the square box. It would be lit, but it'd just be the logo.
Is it-
LED. I sent you
Well, I think we're gonna kind of run into the, I guess, the feedback you can't see from the two other board members here. I think,
Did we just have this conversation?
yeah, I think just to be consistent and fair to
I've seen
everyone, we
it.
need to stay on the same plan of having the signage in,
back there.
yeah, in a box. And like what Coleman says, you know, I agree with that. You look at other places and it becomes, looks very disorganized and,
You need continuity.
yeah, we need continuity, so if you could, Jeff, just, it is out there is pretty faded. I think it would
Yeah.
look a lot better for your business, anyway, but if you would do, just, you know, and you already have a box sign out there, so I don't think we need to take any action,
Plastic.
just to
Yeah,
redo.
I can get back in touch with him and probably just do another panel. That might just be as easy to do and change out that fluorescent lighting
Yeah.
to LED lights
LED,
behind there.
that's right, LED lighting, I think, okay,
Cause all
all
the
right.
other signs have LED lighting now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry?
I said the other signs on building B and C,
Yeah,
I
they're not,
think
it's
have
a lot
LED.
less power
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, it does suck a lot less juice. Okay, all right, Jeff, so you don't need it, you're just changing out the new insert and, maybe, I don't know if that frame is deteriorating, needs repainting or not, but when you're dealing with it, if it's chipped or, you know, deteriorated from exposure, if you could have it repainted, the frame or something, however that's done, that would be great.
That sounds reasonable. I
Okay,
appreciate it.
all right, thank you, Jeff.
If I could jump in here for a second. Jeff, if you want to get in touch with me, I might get the same vendor and get them potentially done at the same time. It might save both of us money on the lift rental and all of that to get it done.
That would be a great idea. Just send me your information and I'll get in touch with you, or however you wanna do it. But yeah, that would work out perfect, man, cause we would be paying for 2 cranes to come out 2 different times.
Yeah, I just rented a crane to do some repair work on the C building, cause, John, and Lisa were having some water intrusion on that south end, and it was about $1,100 for a day to have them deliver the lift that would go up that high and, come back and pick it up. It was, United Rentals and Foley was about $1,100, just for the
Ryan,
lift.
what I'll do, I'll get in touch with, Plastic Works to give me another idea. And, in the meantime, get in touch with them yourself. Is that who you're dealing with so far?
I've been talking to Modern, but if y'all are saying that they're a little bit cheaper,
Okay.
I'll reach out to them.
They're about a third less.
Yeah.
They've been in business quite a while, so, yeah.
And Jane has used them and other people have used them. We use them after the, Sally tore everything up, all the signs up. I used them to replace all the signs and I think it was, at least a third, less as opposed to modern sign. I mean, I like modern signs fine, it's just a price thing. So, Susan, so next on the agenda on signs, Susan Boggs. I'm going back, Susan, on her fence, I believe, and why don't you tell us, Susan, what you're asking for?
Well, so I'm trying to get some directional signage, if you will, and it doesn't have to be on the fence, because I do have to, just to kind of tell you about the fence, there are 4 stickers I have to put on the fence for the fire department. They're octane stickers and notify them that it's unleaded and diesel and that there's no smoking. I am gonna have those stickers mounted on metal back frames so that they don't, I mean, you can't put stickers on wood, but, so I'm trying to make it look nice. But either somewhere on that fence lower, because now it's, you can't see clearly that you can drive all the way to the end and park and enter the dock, so we were wanting some kind of signage just to say dock store, pontoon rentals. It's on white with blue lettering, no logos, nothing on, well, I think a real surprise, Charter's logos on it. And if not on the fence, and I really am thinking I don't want it on the fence, but if we could put a, post is what I wanna say, one of those short posts, right as you kind of approach where the shrubbery is, so people can kind of see, and then as you.
Back by the fuel tanks?
Back by the fuel tanks. I mean, it won't be in your face, but it'll be, oh, I need to be doing this. I mean, I'm just looking for options of where it could go. And then as you enter over by the restaurant, back behind Louisiana Lanyap and Pelican Grill, we have a sign that it would be attached to our shed that's on the dock, but you would see it coming both ways, knowing which way to go for what. Just because people are always asking, they get confused and,
So just
It's-
marina directional signage back by your fuel tank area.
well, and then there would be one that we'd like to put up back behind the restaurants. It wouldn't, it would be on our limited common element, but I mean, you would see it, and it's just a flat metal sign, and it's front and back. So if you're coming this way, it tells you to go this way. If you're coming that, I mean, it just gives people direction when they
So
come
where
on.
would that sign be?
So if you come down the steps right behind, where Lance's area is,
Yeah.
there's that shed that's there.
Yeah.
And the sign, I've gotta find the brackets if we can do it. The sign's made, it would just attach to the side, and so you would see it as you approach the dock, but it would be where you can't, it's not extending over to where the steps are or anything like that, where you can hit your head.
Is it gonna be a metal type sign?
It's white metal with blue lettering.
Okay. Yeah, that's one thing I've noticed on some of the signage that have been put up, like, I don't know, dolphin boat signs, where they use that plastic corrugated
And
The
just for
wind
the record,
bit-
I did not authorize that, and I've told him to take them down, so, but this would help with that. Of course, we have relocated that Dolphin Cruise boat, so it should be a lot easier, cause they're in that corner now.
right.
But it's just something to give people an idea, cause I'll be walking the dock and you just see people doing this, and I'm like, what are you looking for?
Yeah.
And so it's not, I think it's 18 by 24, I can't remember the dimensions. But it's not like that poster right there. I can get the dimensions. Let's see.
I was looking at, you sent me a picture, I thought.
Yes, and I didn't know if
And I have requested too, by the way, and Susan's aware of it, there's one of those, the plastic type signs, so right when you come
Oh.
in past Steamer, if you can see my phone, I don't know if you can see that or not, but there's a marina parking, and, you know, it's bent, it's the corrugated it just doesn't look very nice, and Susan's gonna replace that sign also, if you can see that.
and that will be on the white metal with the blue letter, or however, I mean, I think I sent you a couple of those shots.
Yeah, so I make a motion to approve directional signage that's metal, professionally done, blue letters on white background for the building behind, the restaurant at that building directional signage down by the fuel tanks, and to replace the marina sign, that's right by Steamer, right in the curve, on the overlook over the marina right there, to upgrade those with metal professional signage. If
Some
there's-
kind of standard.
Yes,
Is that what you're
Yeah.
feeding out, you're making it out, so turn your video off, it'll make your, streaming a whole lot better.
okay.
Burn a bunch of bandwidth having to look at your mug.
That's beautiful, isn't it? That's what you woke up hoping to see, Coleman.
It
So-
was, but
The
now
marine-
I'm losing you, we're losing you every now and then.
Okay, so turn off the video.
There you go.
Is that better?
Yeah, it should make you be able, shouldn't cut your audio off.
Okay, all right, so I'm sorry, so the motion I made was to allow replacement signage on that marina one, that's by the steamer, to get that upgraded with a metal and not use any of this corrugated plastic stuff. The metal signage, white background, blue letters, same thing immediately behind the restaurant on the storage building at the corner, right by Lance's boat slip, and down at the end by the fuel tank. And they'll
And
all
I'll
be,
work with you,
and
yeah.
they'll all be consistent and have, you know, the same type print, font, et
They
cetera,
will match exactly.
and match. So it'll be like you said, Colton, continuity.
Some kind of standard.
Yes.
I'm fine with that. Second.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I'm staying.
Susan abstains.
I do have one question, Mark, on this, the marina parking sign. That one's really big,
Yeah,
and I was gonna downsize it a little bit.
please.
Okay.
That'd be appreciated.
Do we need to make a motion on, replacing mine?
No, because you're not doing anything but replacing it. You're not, I mean,
Like
if you want us to make a motion to approve the one you submitted and deny it, we can, but you,
That's okay. That's okay.
I just figured that you got the message and you were just gonna replace the insert, okay. All right, thanks. Let me go back to sit there again. Okay, so, I think that's all the signage,
I do need to ask one question.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
apologize about the marina parking sign. I had asked you, Mark, and I'm okay either way, with or without the Real Surprise Marina logo.
I think Real Surprise Marine logo is fine.
Okay.
I mean, it's
Well, just because people get confused and so,
Yeah.
okay.
It's a small little logo that
It's at
has
the
like little
bottom.
waves at the bottom, Real Surprise. Yeah, that's fine. That kind of get, people are looking for you. I think that
Okay. Just
little
wanna make sure.
logo helps, yeah. Okay, so that covers the signs, power washing building exteriors. As you might have seen, we had the buildings all power washed this week. They were covered, literally. I mean, you just walked around, they were covered in streaks of mold and green. And I went back and looked, and I actually talked to the guy that did it in 22, and that's the last time it's been done. So had those done. I got multiple bids on that. Trying to get everything done before Memorial Day. So this is kind of a retroactive, but he was $6,100. It was the same price. He quoted me more. He gone up a few $100s, and I asked him if he could do it for the same price he did it in 22, and he agreed. So we got it for the $2022. The other one I got from Taylor Power Washing out of Fairhope, they were $8,500 to do the power washing. So not only was it $2,400, I was able to get the same price we paid back in 2022.
No, how much again?
6,100. Yeah, that's the guy that did it back in 22. Gulf Pro Wash. He's in Gulf Shores. Adam Austin, really nice young man. They showed up, squared away, and they got on it and got it done. So that's done. Asphalt sealant, same kind of deal there. Our parking lots I repaved those back in 2016, and they haven't been touched. They really were getting dried out and starting to crack. So I got them in there. They're not quite finished the parking lot restriping, but they have resealed both of the asphalt areas and restriped those. They're reconfiguring down by the fuel tanks and reconfiguring the handicap parking based on the angle of entry to get in there. So we will still have two. We had some dead space. It was just kind of whatever hash mark off wasn't. I don't know what it was for. It didn't go anywhere.
Old code, I was told. It
What's
used to be had to be wider, the
Okay.
code, that's what I was told, but it doesn't have to be as wide anymore.
Yeah, it was pretty wide. It was like a 10-foot hash mark. Now, anyway, they've got it reconfigured. They're putting those in. I told them because of the dumpster situation, it's obvious if you look, you can see where the dumpsters are, there's old blue paint. To put another handicap beside the dumpster in the 5 foot, they've got a name for that zone that's whatever that 5 foot like entry and exit thing is. And we'll put that and one more handicap beside the dumpster. Cause a lot, quite a few people come into the restaurants that need, handicap access. But that'll be done, that, and on that, I was working coincidentally with Baldwin County 911 on they had to, they go through a public bid process on works. And Gulf Coast Asphalt, on the 3 bids they got, it was the lowest bid per square foot, and, from the 3, and so they agreed to do Sandrock for the same per square foot price that they did. They were the low bidder, so kind of saved the process of going through the bids. That total for redoing, treating our asphalt, repainting everything is $14,653. Should be hopefully done tonight. They've been coming working at night. They're not quite finished with that include all the restriping on the concrete areas, all the curbs, all the curb bumpers, all the directional arrows on the surface, and asphalting, and doing all the striping on the asphalt. It's basically just redoing it's a 10-year reset on our parking. It was done 10 years ago. And so they should be done pretty soon. Before I jump
All
in,
the cracks and all that stuff too, Mark?
I'm sorry.
Are they filling all the cracks and all that stuff?
Yeah, there were already some big cracks formed right down the middle, that you still see. They did put extra material in there, but right down the center, kinda at the, I guess the apex, the lowest point, there, and we're getting to the point where if we didn't do something, we're gonna have to repave. I mean, in fact, he commented how much material, they had to go buy more sealant material, but it was sucking it up like a sponge. He said, man, the asphalt is dry. And they went and bought more material to lay down on it. It didn't take off, it's not 100%, it's not like a repaving job, it's a coating. But it's way better, and it should give some legs on it before we have to repave. But that parking lot just gets, especially West Side, just gets hammered. I mean, it's every day, year round, gets hammered. And, I don't even remember what I paid when I re-asphalted, but it was a lot of money when I had it totally recoated. But it had gotten so bad by 2015 that all the rock was coming out of the asphalt. It's just loose rock. Remember that? It's all down the surface. It was just, it was, it had not been taken care of, we'll put it that way. And so,
It was rich.
It's just the west side parking area?
no, that's both. We did west and east, and both are completed as of this morning. Both are striped, both are back open and in business. The only thing that's left is, when you look from up at Sandrock, it does look gorgeous. It looks, it's eye-catching how nice it looks. It looks very professionally done, and the only thing they're lacking is finishing up all the curbs, handicap, directional signage that's like when you drive in, it points around, etc. Now, they're not doing underneath, and I've had Todd working on some of that a little bit at a time, just painting, kind of doing it himself. I will say, and it's something to think about, because there is a lot of grease downstairs. I don't know the last time, I don't remember the last time we had a professional degrease wash of the parking garage. But almost every parking spot has a circle of grease, like under the engine area, or a lot of them do anyway. And I asked Gulf Coast when they came to finish up what it would cost to put commercial degreaser and steam clean and wash it out. And he gave me a quote of $3,000 to degrease all those spots and wash the whole parking garage. I don't know how y'all feel about that. It's kind of grimy, honestly. I have to watch where I walk when you're getting out of your cars and walking in, because you will get it on your shoes and track it in.
That's a reasonable price, I think.
Yeah, they'll bring 2 trucks with these huge tanks on the trailers of chemical, and those boys get with them. And they showed up the other day, and I think they had 6 or 7 men And they were there at 6 a.m. and they got with it, and in a day and a half, they had all of our buildings washed.
Can they get the trucks underground?
So,
Can they get those trucks underground? I can't remember what the height of them was.
yeah, they can get,
Okay.
they're on these big trailers.
That's
They're
right.
big plastic tanks
That's
on
right.
pull behind trailers with the
I just
chemical.
couldn't
He said that would include all the degreaser and do it, so if you want me to me, that wasn't quite, I mean, our buildings were, I mean, it was embarrassing. I mean, you drive through and you can just see the green mold all over the buildings. I was like, damn, man, it's just embarrassing to look at, but it looks beautiful now. It looks great, and so, do y'all wanna, what's your consensus? Y'all wanna go forward and do the garage and get him, he said he could do it early in the morning, and he said it'd be done in a day.
I think we should.
And he said he could do it early in the week too, like on a
I
Monday or
was gonna
Tuesday.
say, a Monday or Tuesday,
Monday or
not a
Tuesday.
Thursday or Friday.
Yeah, no, Monday or Tuesday, but he said they could start really early in the morning, rope it off, and be done by, that day, be out of there by early afternoon and have it all degreased and washed out, so. So on those projects, which would be the power washing of the buildings, power washing of the parking garage, and the asphalt, and curbing, directional signage, et cetera, for those three projects, can I have a motion to approve?
So motion.
Jeff, motion. Second.
I'll second, I have a question.
Okay, Susan, second. Okay, so there's a discussion, Susan?
I'm gonna ask the obvious, I mean, we have the money to do this.
Yeah, so, that's
I mean,
good.
I just.
The good point, do we have the money? Yeah, so our current, as of this morning, our, general account, just our cash general account for operating has 42,981.11, okay? And then our reserve account has $225,834 in it. So we have 225,834.42 and some of this capital improvement project, some of that will come out of the reserves. Capital improvement is not just ordinary operating expense, but the answer is yes. We have 225,834 in reserve. We have 42,981 in our operating account.
So I understand what this motion is, and then we just approved for the dumpster. Is there anything else before summer that we're expecting?
No, I've already had Susan's question, which you couldn't hear, is there any major projects? The answer is no. Just trying to get things done. Once Memorial Day hits, it's not even safe to try to do work, and you can't do work.
No, I'm just curious, what
yeah, no,
else do we have,
other
in
than
September? that might
No,
be
unless
coming?
there's some emergency, like, Lisa and John had an issue where water was coming
Sure.
in and it was sagging the paint. And I went up top and looked and didn't see anything that it really caught your eye. There was a couple little maybe spots. And then I got binoculars and looked from the ground, and you could see up at the very top at that trim at the bull nose, it looked like there was a horizontal crack. Well, it's behind a palm tree and way up at the top. There's no way to safely, you couldn't get a ladder up that
Oh,
high.
no, I'm just.
So, I was just saying, so we may have, but we have reserve. So that was, I had Todd do all the sealing. We bought the material. I rented the lift. It's $1,140 or something. I had it coordinated, delivered, got up there, and he basically caught the living hell out of everything up there. Now, we have some windows. They have leaking windows. There's little decorative, there's 3, 6,
Yes.
9, 12 around the courtyard, these little square decorative windows, and they have some heavy deterioration in their laundry room. So, but they said 4 to 6 weeks on getting, I had the guy from Blue Water come out, 4 to 6 weeks, and, whenever those, I don't even know what it's gonna be, the
No,
cost.
it's fine,
but,
I'm just,
yeah.
I mean, and those little things I understand, I'm just making sure we don't have like another asphalt sealant project.
No, and the question was any other major projects? No, this should take us into the fall on major project. And I've already had all the lift stations serviced, had that done a couple weeks ago. The grease trap, the big grease trap pump, 2,000 gallons of the grease trap pumped and hauled. All the lift stations in the complex have been serviced, cleaned. I had the line from the public restrooms. Y'all remember, there was a little bit of controversy, that line from the C building, it goes all the way over to front of Jeff's building, and it clogged up, and there was a lot of, emotion over that. And, there was actually emotion about the wrong thing, because there was a lift station that does like my side of the C building, had nothing to do with that pipe that had gone out, but anyway, everything's been serviced, and I had them go ahead and clean that line and put chemical, they put chemical in that line, they got he said a few big chunks out of that line. But to my knowledge, our whole pump out system for all restaurants, for all public toilets, for the pizza, everything's cleaned and ready to go into the summer. So we're good to go there.
What about that courtyard thing you were?
Oh yeah, that's not a huge expense. I just ordered about $1,200. That's Jane. So the courtyard. If you may have noticed, you walked through the courtyard, it had become blacker and blacker, and what it was is a fungus that had embedded in the tile, in the limestone. The only way to get rid of the fungus that I read and researched that would be effective, and it has worked, is use diluted muriatic acid, spray it on it, it's diluted down to about 2/3 water, 1/3 acid. Spray it on it, let it sit 5 minutes or so, and then power wash it off. Todd has been working on it now for, I don't know, 6 weeks, a long time, tile by tile, but he's almost done. I keep saying, when are you gonna be done? When are you gonna be done? When are you gonna be done? And he's got a few more days of power washing work left. I have ordered some commercial sealant. I did not get the solvent base, because the last time, 8 years ago, we did this, the solvent, the off-gassing was so strong, like the shops, it was bad, and it disrupted business. This is a water base, about the same price, saltwater resistant, antifungal, and we're gonna seal section by section the entire courtyard. It's about 600 and something, 650 something per 5-gallon container. I ordered 2 containers. Todd immediately told me that wasn't enough. I said, well, we're gonna start with that and see how far it goes. And then once we see the application, how much is sucked into that stone and how far that goes, I'll order more. It's out of Texas. But it's actually on a truck. I called about the tracking number yesterday. It's on a truck, but we were going to, and not only is that important to stop the deterioration of the courtyard tile, it's to stop the penetration of the water that's coming into it's been an ongoing problem for years and years. It's gotten worse. But we got to keep that porous tile sealed so it runs on the surface toward the drains and doesn't soak in and penetrate through the ceiling of the parking garage, which is, it's a problem. It's a problem to the extent on our recent insurance inspection, they flagged it about the water penetration. I said,
Stalactites everywhere.
yeah, we're working on it, but I may end up getting 4, I may end up getting 6, whatever I've got to get the adequate spread on the tile, I will, but I'm starting out with 2 5-gallon containers before. I don't want to order a bunch and then have it, set down in storage and ruin. So anyway, that's pretty much it on major project. Other than we got the window. I mean, it's an aircraft carrier. There's always stuff going on.
Right, and I didn't mean to jump off onto that with this motion. I just wanted to make sure the funds were available and we weren't, so.
Oh yeah, no, we're good. Financially, we're good. We've gotten costs way down and we're good.
Well, then I'll call the vote. How's that?
Yes, call the vote. Okay, so we got a motion second. Any more discussion? All in favor, and that is to approve power washing again underneath $3,000. The $6,100 already been done. The $14,653 on the surface lots, and we already approved the enclosure. So
Correct.
Yep, those 3. Is there a call for the vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. All right, the next thing is, we talked about dumpster containment, fountain cleaning. We've been paying a guy, it was $250, last fall apparently, he just went up to $300. He comes out for about 15 minutes a week he vacuums it out, throws some, chlorine in it and leaves. So that's $3,600 a year. I told Todd I wanted him to start doing that, but I wanted, even though it's not a swimming pool, I want him to go to some training and understand chemical balance and water balance, so, cause that affects your pumps and all that, right, pH levels and your pool. So Todd did that. It was $350, I think, or something, his training. He went over to Pensacola, took class, made a 94 out of 100, so I was impressed. And he is going to start, I told him to go to LA Pools or whatever and get whatever vacuum equipment, get some pricing on that, but he will start, we'll do that in-house. We will stop outsourcing the weekly vacuuming of the pool and checking the chemicals at $300 plus, sometimes it's been $350 when he's had to buy more chemical, $300 to $350 a month. That'll save us $3,600 a year by just doing that work in-house, and I feel good. Todd can do it fine. Simple, he's there every day, so. Courtyard deep cleaning and sealing, we talked about that. Long-range building maintenance and repairs, next item. So, as I mentioned during our budget discussions, the statute requires a long-term capital plan on things like, we did it on roofs. Remember, we set aside for 5 years the money on the roofs based on the budget. And then when it came time to replace the roofs, guess what? We had the money. There was no special assessment needed. So that's the plan on the long-range building maintenance. Coleman's about to launch, if not today. I mean, they've been waiting on windows, but he is glassing in Lanyap upstairs. Part of that is a demo, which we've already approved, a demo and removal of the rotted, I'll call it a rotted, very unsafe balcony overhang. The steel is rotted and is kind of held up with a cinch strap at the moment on the corner, the northwest corner.
Ratchet strap.
Ratchet strap, yeah. So, Coleman, do you have any update as far as like timeline on your project?
He was supposed to start either today or Monday, depending on the windows. Hopefully we're gonna be in by Tuesday. And so that's the game plan.
Okay, so what's gonna involve, they're gonna strip out that balcony first, rip all that out and demo it. So there's gonna be a restriction in access because they gotta have a work area while they tear all that out.
I won't put my sign up till afterward.
And then we're not going back with that balcony. Remember, it's just,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, no, yeah, no, it's just, trying to coordinate getting contractors, and I have reached out to Jim White, I think his name is, with MD Thomas.
He's a good guy.
Yeah, I've reached out a couple times to him, like, hey, can you give me a status? Cause Gabby was asking me, I was like, I don't know Gabby. So I would text him, and anyway, it's just getting Swift to get the windows in, that's been the biggest delay. But it's gonna look really nice, and then I have not gotten, now Lance said he had submitted some kind of proposal to the board, which he told me the board disapproved.
No, we didn't disapprove it.
Okay.
We approved it with certain conditions.
Okay, well, I gotta go back and try to find that in the minutes, but anyway, ultimately, Jim was supposed to give me a price to hardy plank in that very ugly looking area on the lower level. Lance is kinda patched up plastic stuff back there and just get it closed in, painted the same color. And Lance said, well, I might just, be easier. I've got some guys working on my farm, and he said, but they're gonna be working there. I said, well, we're trying to make it look nice. Now, once that's done, and that's gonna be done here pretty soon, that brings up the bigger question of the buildings. Just like John and Lisa just ran into, the buildings were all done 10 years ago. IC Coatings had the low bid, and they had more Hondurans than Honduras had hanging off those buildings. And we did all of it at the same time. It was very disruptive. Courtyard, remember all that? And it was very disruptive. Budget wise, and that was part of the development, like that was a big reset. I believe what we should do is look at each building individually and come up with a plan and stagger the work. And since Coleman's building D, Lanyap building is kind of and we've got some stuff from handrail stuff on the front, or that was kind of temporarily done. I think we gotta just look at that one and say, okay, this coming up year in the off season, we get a budget, we get a plan, look at our reserves, and we're gonna do everything that needs to be done on this building to get it up.
And that building shows it more because
It
of the
does.
color.
It shows it
I
more,
mean-
you can see the cracks on the exterior when it rains, you can see
And
the
you
cracks.
got the light in the dark where the stucco, I think got repaired for some reason, and
Yeah, there is, but that would be, I think, especially doing this project, is and I'm gonna get pricing and get bidding, but we go through a process through the property, and the pool is one, there's several cracks that develop in the pool, and you can see where it's weeping water out. I had Todd I said, spray a little muriatic acid on that and kinda knock off this fuzz, but water's coming through the side walls of the fountain where they're just cracks, everything settles out there, it's cracks. And so, what I wanna do is have a meeting in August of the board, our next meeting, where we will review the next year's, budget, okay? And in that is gonna be, in our reserve, is gonna be a detail of the major projects going forward. Now, if somebody says, hey, my window's falling out, like, okay, or like with Tony, I guess it was a rock from a weed eater or something, shattered a window, we just had to replace it. I mean, we did that, recently, within the last few weeks, because a rock or so, anyway, it shattered the whole window, and that required replacing a 3-panel Freeman glass, getting it all lined up, getting it ordered, getting it installed, coordinating the work with the owner when he was in town, and he'd get access, et cetera, but we got it done. There'll be things like that, but meanwhile, we need a comprehensive plan on these buildings, I think. And I don't know which one's worse. I think Coleman, I agree with Susan, the D building is more visible, it's more obvious. It needs the upgrade first. And whether then we go A, B, C, and we just did some work. I mean, I had
did a
Todd,
lot of work on A already, maybe we go to B.
maybe go to B and C, that's right, yeah. I don't know, I mean, I'm talking about the exterior condition.
No, I was
Yeah,
joking.
Yeah, no, windows.
I was jabbing.
Yeah, no, windows and all that stuff, so, I don't know, just do an evaluation and pick one and say, okay, this is gonna be the 26 building, 27, 28, and just have a plan and not to go borrow money or not get a bunch of special assessments. Let's just kind of try to work within our budget and get these things done. So that's sort of my thoughts on it. Does anyone have any further thoughts on that approach?
I think it's a good approach.
And even MD Thomas, I mentioned MD Thomas, and they're like, man, that's the best thing I've heard yet, just doing one building at a time. I said, well, disruption wise, time that we have available in the off season to do it, it just makes sense. And so we were probably gonna have to get some duct tape like we did on that building. Did it stop leaking, Lisa? John, you're there too, I think. Did that south wall stop leaking?
As far as I can tell, yes.
Okay.
John didn't tell you about a spot that happened in our closet, so I've been watching that one.
Okay, is that a roof thing
I don't
or a
know.
wall thing?
I don't know, 'cause
Yeah.
it's in that cupola. You know what I'm saying? You know how the wood up there,
In the
where we have it all,
cupola. Help me find out where you go.
where our attic space is, where it's all,
Above
the
the
foam.
Oh, yeah, well, actually, so the third floor, what Lisa's describing, there's some leak on the third floor cupola, and it's coming down. I noticed too, this morning, actually went to the printer to get some of the stuff and looked up, and I've got those replaceable tiles, that's why I did it that way, because there's always something leaking. And I saw a wet spot in my old office area, right about where the center of it is, right about in the center, there is a wet, looks like a discolored tile, and I was like, whatever.
Yeah,
next-
something's going on right there.
So anyway, we may have to address things, we not
Does
may.
that roof have a warranty?
Well, this is the hard roof.
Oh,
This is
okay.
not the flat roof. The
Okay.
flat roof areas,
I'm with you.
yeah, they do have a 12-year warranty. This is the center cupola that has the tile,
Gotcha.
which is another thing that's gonna be on the long-range budget, because those were put in after Ivan. So they are 2024, 2025, so,
After Ivan,
I mean,
2004.
04, 05, so that's 20-something years old, those
Yeah.
roofs, and I don't know if they can be recoated with a spray and left, or they need to be replaced with new material. And anyway, that's just another thing to look at on our long-range plan, but
The one on our building looks terrible.
yeah, now they're starting to show their age for sure. So anyway, that's kind of the status. If anyone has any comments, I'm just gonna try to spend the next several months building that. So we get together in August, we review it. Part of our budget is the long-term capital improvements, and then the board can approve a budget. We can get out and have our owners meeting in September before the start of fiscal year is October 1, and we'll have a budget going into the year. Rather than doing it, we end up this kind of a mid-year cycle thing, which is not good. But let's see. Next item, building a elevator emergency call button, which is going to bring up several subjects. I met several times. I had made, starting in February, several reports to Elevated, which is the old Oracle, and to come out, there's nothing wrong, blah, blah, blah. Then I had another meeting, and they started telling me about there's a wireless module, and maybe the wireless module is not working. And we're gonna put a new one in and be covered under warranty, and I met with them again. Well, I don't know, this guy, his name's Christian. Well, let's just start off. I finally called my IT guy, Tim, to come see if he could help me figure it out. And I was gonna get him to run fiber optic into the room for the wireless connection. When he comes and looks at it and says, Mark, it's not wireless, it's hardwired. And I said, no, Christian told me it's wireless, and they said, I'm looking at it, it's got a hard wire. So he traced it, the wire, to a room in Jeff's building, and it was a dead end. The wire was connected, the module was working fine. So he contacted Jeff, and sure enough, Jeff had changed internet providers. When was it, Jeff? Last September?
Yes.
Last September, and whenever that change happened, the connection to internet was disrupted by Jeff's change in internet service providers. It has nothing to do with a wireless module. There's not a wireless module.
Shame on you, Jeff.
And so, what Tim suggested we do, coincidentally, positively, on the other side of the wall of the elevator room is Jeff's office.
Mm-hmm.
So I had Todd drill a hole for a half-inch conduit into Jeff's office. And then Tim came back, connected to Jeff's internet, whatever device, which is right there, through the hole, plugged it in, put the fire caulk in it on either side, and magically it works. So that was all it was one wire. So all the carrying on and everything was over one wire.
Wow.
Well, did you correct
When I did
Christian
that
to let him
change,
know it wasn't wireless?
I'm sorry? What's that?
I said, did you correct Christian to let him know it wasn't wireless?
I did, and he said, well, that's what the people that installed it told me. I mean, it was just, anyway. That brings up a separate subject. Now that we've gotten through that, I have zero confidence in these people. I called Danny Denny, I think I've told you the story, but I said, hey, is there anyone in the industry that can be trusted? And he said, no. I said, well, that's great. And I use a little more creative language, but I'll save you from that. And then he did refer me to a group that had left one of the big ones, I don't know which one, but they had formed their own deal, and I do have a proposal, but I told them, I said, until I get this A, and he said, they looked at A, he said, there are some deficiencies in the installation. There are some problems with the installation, not major, but there are a few things, and that it was fit and finish type work on the shaft and whatever that they didn't do a high level of work on that were fairly easy to correct. I called them one time because Gabby called me and said there was an employee trapped in D one morning on a Saturday. I was like, great. So I called them. They sent someone out, And now I will say this, I have stopped paying them back in February or March, cause they
Are
were
we
one
talking
of the.
about or elevated?
Elevated.
Okay.
They were one of the many people that had unrestricted access to our bank account, and they, along with everyone else, do not have access to our bank account anymore. But they came, but the reason I did that, the logbook showed in 12 months we've been paying them. They had not had one maintenance visit. There was no entries on any logbook, so I figured we were paid up front in the head. So they came out, and according to Gabby, and I have a lot of respect for Gabby, she's always been very straightforward. The guy was very ugly to her, accused her of lying about the problem, said there's no way this would have happened. And I mean, I had the employee there that was trapped for about 15 minutes, and he got really confrontational, and she immediately left me this long message, and I called Christian about it, and I said, dude, I don't know what's going on, but whoever you have for your service people cannot speak to owners like that. I said, they've got people, customers, employees. And he goes, well, what she was describing just couldn't be true. And I didn't argue with him. I was like, okay, I think we need to, and I will bring a proposal to you, but we don't have a current, I mean, I have not paid, when I cut them off in February, Elevated's got no more money from us. And I don't think that's something we should even consider as a company to do inspections on our elevators, because they obviously don't even know the difference between a wireless and a wired module, staring at it, looking at it. So anyway, I'll bring that back to you, just want to give you an update, but that's all it was one wire that ran about 2 feet, maybe 18 inches, maybe 2 feet when you turn the corner. And thank you, Jeff, for working with us on that.
Oh, no problem. Like I said, I apologize. I didn't think anything about it when I changed providers.
Yeah, I don't know what this whole wireless module crap was, but that was all a bunch of baloney. But anyway,
Elevators have to be hardwired.
yeah, anyway, I don't know. I'm not in the elevator business, but that was not true. That's all I can say. Let's move to the next one, financial transaction review. And I'm gonna turn this over somewhat, I'll give you a forecast on it, turn it somewhat over to Jane. So, trying to go through, it's kind of started out with the budgeting process. When I was working on the budget back in February, trying to figure out, what our expenses were, what could be saved. There were some anomalies that were showing up, some transactions I didn't understand. Then some of you've been, privy to I asked John Mims to produce copies of, there were a lot of charges to, I think in an 8-month period, there were 44 charges to Amazon. All it said in the bank statement was Amazon, like 44, and it was, I don't know, $4,000 or $5,000 of Amazon charges. And so, John got very upset about that, and got a lot of pushback on it, or seemed to be upset to me about being questioned about it. But in looking at what was produced, about 90% of the transactions were personal expenditures. John said it was an honest mistake, but there were a lot of expenditures. I went back and got, what's his name right here, just spoke to him. Thomas Lee, the bank guy here, to pull records, not every bank record, but go back and pull debit card records so we could just look, because there was a debit card that was being used. I didn't know we had a debit card, frankly. When I was doing it, we didn't have a debit card. I just didn't. If there's an expense, I pay for it on my Amex. I submit it with a receipt for reimbursement to the accountant. They write a check for reimbursement. There we have the documentation for it. But once we started looking at that, and then Jane's been helping me a lot, going through Ace Hardware, Home Depot. All I can say is there are a lot of transactions that have raised our eyebrows. There are things like pizza stones purchased. Well, the COA doesn't have, COA doesn't, we don't have a need for a pizza stone. There was, $600 something of stainless steel deck screws, decking material. We don't.
Foley Beach Express.
Foley Beach Express charges.
Shell gasoline.
A lot of Shell station charges, gas, food, I mean, it's sort of like, holy,
Pelican Grill.
yeah, a lot of charges on the debit card, the Pelican
Donuts.
Grill.
Really?
So anyway, Jane is working on it. I just told her she got kind of
My file is this thick.
excited about some of the stuff that we were seeing.
I just think whatever, not to interrupt, but it just, if we paid someone to audit us right now, we wouldn't come close to passing an audit. There's
It
just
was
not,
canceled?
there's not enough information.
Yeah, I took your
The card's
suggestion.
been canceled.
I canceled all debit cards, and as far as I'm concerned, we don't, I mean, a debit card.
There was
Coleman,
only
give me
one,
your,
right?
Coleman, give me your opinion on
No.
debit cards.
No.
No.
It is the most single detrimental thing you could do to your finances. You have no financial recourse. When they take the money out of your account, you gotta prove that there was fraud. With a credit card, there's federal statutes out there. All you have to do is say, this is fraudulent, and the money comes back. You just don't have any control with a debit card. It's the biggest sham they pulled over on the public to think that a debit card is good. You know, the credit card is by far the way to go. Just pay it off every month, and you have lots more protection from you for personal protection. That's just my 2 cents.
Yeah, so the debit card has been killed. There's 2 debit card numbers showing up.
No,
I'm trying to get the
one.
I'm trying to get the history. Susan was only one, so they're doing bank research
There's-
on, there
yeah,
were
there's
2
5
separate
other
numbers
ones.
of a debit card
Are
being
you
used.
kidding me?
But there's thousands of dollars to Home Depot, to Ace Hardware. There's stuff that just, if you read the description of things we got,
Swift Supply.
yeah, it's just,
Um,
you know,
Wait a
and
minute,
there,
wait a minute. I'm sorry, I gotta back up a minute.
yeah,
Go ahead.
This bank told you there was more than one debit card issued to this account.
no,
Grant Sanders and Taylor.
Grant Sanders and Taylor gave us information. There were 2, and they have the numbers. You can see the last 4 of the transmission.
Right.
Last 4 digits
There were
on
2
the
separate. So anyway, I say we're still kind of early into it, but
I don't even want
there's
that.
charges all over Baldwin County. Ace Hardware's all over. Gulf Shores Ace Hardware,
Yeah,
Foley
there's
Ace Hardware.
4
Alberta
there's
has,
4 Paris Ace Hardwares.
and I had to stop. I mean, I had to kill the card there, and I was like, look, I don't know who's all charging what. I mean, there's just stuff that's
I
obviously.
never knew of, I'm sorry, that just perplexes me.
Me too.
So anyway, Home Depot said they can pull all the original, if I can get the full credit, the debit card number, they can pull the receipts for the transactions based on the dates and the amounts and the card number. And we're working with them. Anyway, we're kind of trying to do an internal audit without spending 10 or 20,000 on an outside audit. And when we see the issues, Jane's been spending hours and hours going through and calling and on the phone, and she's been dealing with
We
the
don't know who had the
accountant.
card.
Anyway, I don't know the answer to it. All I know is the bleeding has stopped. There is no debit card. Any expenditures like a lift or sealant or whatever, I'm paying for on my Amex for Todd. I've gotten an Amex in Todd's name and my business name, not the COA. COA has no cards, will not have any cards as far as I'm concerned.
No.
I pay for it, I submit it to the accountant, Jane gets a copy of it, if it's whatever it's for, degreaser, rental of a lift, it's got an invoice, describes what it's for, and
Yeah,
they
there's
cut
some
me
that
a.
I have no idea what they're
Yeah.
for.
I mean, there's just so many
$1,000.
transactions, we don't even know
That's
who was
crazy.
charging,
It's nuts.
no signatures, but things that are just obviously not for COA.
No memo, there's nothing like checks written with no memo.
Can I ask, and I'm sorry, maybe this is an aside question, cause I'm just curious, is this something more recent?
No, it's been
No,
going on for
it's been
years,
going on
last
a long
3
time.
years, last
Really?
3 years, yeah.
2023.
Yeah,
It's
2023.
the first records that I have, but they keep, like I said, they keep giving me more information, and it is costing us money for me to do this, but it's less than paying someone to audit.
Oh, yeah,
But
all,
Grant Sanders and Taylor, their billing was agreed at $1,000 a month.
yeah, in this interim period,
And-
I got them down to
And
1,000.
that's how it's been going in the last few months.
They've not
But-
submitted
but-
any
But
additional
before that,
charges.
it was anywhere from, high 2000s.
Oh, that I knew, cause I
There were
could-
so many
Yeah.
things, and the way they explained it to me
was, they do time tickets, probably not unlike how you and Sam do
Right.
it. You do time tickets, they add the tickets up. They didn't really say who was who, but gave me a lot of information about, what was exactly taking up their time. And now we're trying to figure out a way to quantify it.
Yeah, so I think we've kind of shifted gears. One of the things going back to the accounting time, and Jane's been working with Robin on that, is how in the world is $27,000 that we, a lot of it they attributed to being requested to do amortization schedules, from John and Kelly on some personal financing John and Kelly did for Tony and for Jeff through last year's
From,
assessment.
some things from Fresh Off the Boat.
And maybe fresh off the boat
And the
too.
Sousa's, yeah,
But-
'cause they gave me all those just a couple
But
days
the,
ago.
the issue was whatever arrangement was made for financing individual owners on paying their, obligations. All the accounting charges associated with whatever they were doing, amortization wise, spreadsheets, whatever, the association, we all paid for it. So rather than the people borrowing the money or the people lending the money paying for it,
We got hit for the time.
yes, for the time and doing all the spreadsheets and that, and Jane has been trying to see if they can quantify that, because if, if Jeff, if you're borrowing from them, or Tony was, or Jer was, and there were some accounting charges, I think the rate that they tell you is 8% interest was being charged on the loans. But all the accounting work and all that was just dumped into the COA expenditures, not segregated, not dealt with the borrower and the lender, just, we all paid for all the accounting work for their financing. And
Mark,
so,
can I speak on that just a second?
yes, sir.
Well, as far as the financing, you was the president when we agreed to do that. And we all, because you was there, you said it was very generous of us because they couldn't afford to pay it back. And you was the president.
Well, I agreed to the concept, I agreed to the concept of you lending. What I did not agree with and would never agree with is not having any segregation. I had no idea that you or Kelly would be utilizing the COA accountants to do whatever type of, and I'll tell you this, Robin, you can ask Robin, she told Jane the same thing. Jane, I'll let Jane say it. What did Robin say about John's activity in her office?
That he was there a lot.
He was there a lot. You were there a lot on these amortization schedules and took it. That's what she was blaming some of her expenditures for. And all I'm saying is, yes, I don't mind if you want to lend the money.
If you recall, when we
Well,
set that up, I said, yes, we'll loan them the money, but I'm not loaning it to them personally.
That's right.
If they pay it back, it's going back through the COA.
That's
But I wasn't just gonna loan money out to somebody like that.
I get it.
And all they were doing was billing these three individuals on their bill. They were billing the three individuals, and the money was going back to the COA, and we were getting paid from the COA. Because if you recall, I said that I'm not gonna be responsible and hold notes for De Sosa and some of the other people that I wasn't sure I was getting my money back.
And I didn't disagree with that. All I'm saying is when it came down to getting in the weeds on the cost administration, after you loaned the money, after I was off the board, apparently, according to Robin, you can take it up with her, you spent an exceptional amount of time in front of her desk. She described to me all the time, Mark, he was across my desk. I don't know if she's making excuses for the charges. She may just be throwing you under the bus. I don't know. But
Yeah.
I just want, that's what
Three times.
she told.
Every time I was in her
Nobody wants to
office,
ask
Joe
me.
Hood and Kelly Deere in her office talking
Well,
about any of these.
I don't, that's just what, and maybe it's us questioning her 27,000 and accounting on it, but in any event, to the extent, all Jane asked for, can you quantify what amount of time you spent on spreadsheets, financing, whatever, that should be paid by, not by the association, but by the person borrowing the money. Who's, that's kind of, that's pretty self-evident that if you have accounting charges that are related to individuals that are financing arrangements because they can't pay it like the others are paying it, that shouldn't be borne by the group. I mean, that's sort of elementary. I don't wanna pay, Jane doesn't wanna pay.
We agreed to it in our meeting when he was there, so that's.
We agreed to it that the accounting charges would, you're saying that we agreed in
Maybe
the
it was
board
unknown
meeting.
at the time.
Say again?
Maybe it was unknown at the time. How did you know how it was
Exactly.
being handled?
Lisa said maybe it was unknown. It was not discussed about the accounting charges, but that's one of the things as a fiduciary, when you get in a situation like, wait a second, we got some charges coming up. We have to say, no, this has to go to the person incurring the charge, not to the association as a whole. I mean, that's just one of those fiduciary judgment calls where you're like, it's not right to do this and have whatever they charge. And Jane's been trying to get an answer from them, how much was charged for this work? You said it took so much time.
It had to be minuscule, and whatever it is, I'd be happy to pay that back. I mean, me
Well-
and Kelly both, whatever, it had to be minuscule charges, because it was very simple work. And number two.
I don't know.
You didn't know about this debit card, I give you that debit card when I give you all the books. Susan knows about the debit card, I know about the debit card, we had Ace Hardware where Cynthia could go down there and put something.
I don't have a debit card.
No.
Never. Never had a debit card.
No, I think he's saying he gave it back to
Well,
you.
now let the,
Well, unless it was in those, you gave me a black notebook and Kelly gave me a black notebook. If it was in the black notebook and there's some other things that you put in a file drawer, I have not seen a debit card.
there was a debit card there.
Okay,
And this
well, I
is
haven't
the
seen
Ace
it.
Hardware deal, here's.
Well, I just did a production of documents where I went through everything that was turned over. There's no debit
Ace
card.
Hardware deal, we set up with an account where Cynthia and whatever could go in there and charge, and they were supposed to send receipts to me, and she did, not normally, and I would send those receipts to the accounting firm for backup. Now, why the accounting firm, number one, I'm not trying to throw them back under the bus, why would you pay a bill without a receipt and code it wherever you want to on the general ledger without anybody knowing, you're just putting under maintenance or this or that, like, yeah, the Traeger grill, the thing on Amazon, I'll take full responsibility for. You know, that Lisa's got pants that she bought on there, and it was just a burden, it wasn't intentionally. It was going off our primary card, going over that other, and it was $2,800 is what I know to this day was there. And everything else was, they should have had a receipt for it. How are you gonna code something you don't even know what it is?
Well, I'm not saying I'm not saying I'm in any manner satisfied, and that's why I made the recommendation, one of the reasons to change accounting firms has been approved, but we postponed that pending as we pull back some of the layers of this, and several owners said they wanted this research, and I think we should research, yeah, and so, before we change horses on the accountants, Jane has been trying to get these answers. I will say, I haven't seen any extra billing from them to respond to our questions, but we're going through it. All this extra charges, debit card use, charges, I've shut off everything, everywhere, and
It's been taken off my Amazon account as well, because I didn't want that to inadvertently happen again, and it was just sporadically when that was happening.
Well, John, this really isn't about.
The reason I caught it last time is because Lisa had sent a pair of pants back, and they credited a COA credit card, and I said, wait a minute. So we got looking back, and that's when I brought to your attention, and to the whole board's attention, what had happened prior. It wasn't discovered from anybody sitting in that room. It was something that I discovered, and I brought it to y'all's attention, said, hey, here's what happened, I'll pay it back, didn't mean to do it. So this not like something somebody uncovered.
John, this isn't even about the Amazon.
The insinuation I committed a Class A felon, and I'm a Class A felon, I hadn't had a speeding ticket in 30 years.
Well,
If you wanna audit it and whatever goes forward, but you know.
I mean, you're very defensive about something you shouldn't be very defensive about, John.
Well, you call me a Class A felon.
No, I said that type of transaction by fiduciary would be that, if you don't understand the difference between an individual and a fiduciary under the statute, if your attorney has not explained that to you, when you're handling other people's funds and exceeds a certain amount of money, it doesn't matter. You know, if you say, well, it was an honest mistake, it was an honest mistake. you're a fiduciary, you have a heightened, very heightened sense of responsibility for that never to happen. Now, it wasn't just the one time, John, let's just be clear, you notified us of the October, November, December 2025 transactions. Your attorney produced a check written by Lisa earlier than any of those, where it happened before, and the handwritten check said missed charges on Amazon, and it was for some amount, I don't have it in front of me.
$800 and something dollars.
What's that?
It was an $800 and something.
$800 something dollars, so it wasn't like it happened, now, you know, I think a normal fiduciary, if it ever happened once, handling someone else's funds, would have done everything possible at that time. Like, that card would have been snatched off. You shouldn't put a debit card on any internet purchase, as Coleman just said, how dangerous that is. But once that got used for personal use one time, that would have been a 5-alarm fire to get that card taken off your Amazon account, where it never happened. Now there have been 3 separate checks written, and I've gotten these bank records from Thomas. They've had to go back through, and you know, there are other transactions that go back further. You know, it's not the case. I mean, I don't think 44 times, 44
I look back at some of that stuff, and most of it was correct. It was toilet paper for the bathrooms. It was soap dispensers. It was hand dryers for the bathrooms. Things that we were trying to save money on down there. So, you know, whatever y'all want to do, if you want to audit it or whatever. But
well, we're trying to avoid the cost of an audit. We're just trying to go through
that's
and.
what you got to do. That's what you got to do.
But,
you know,
I mean, other people may other people.
I just don't appreciate it.
Well, it's not about you appreciating it, John. I don't appreciate you putting the board in this situation. If questions have to be asked, I hate to be the person to ask them. I wish.
I don't mind answering the question.
Well, you do, because you get very aggressive.
Pays money, you're in the wrong.
You
haven't done your research.
You get very aggressive when asked basic questions about Amazon charges.
There's a lot of things I've been, but a crook is not one of them, and that's what.
Okay, let's just say it's very highly irresponsible. Maybe it's that. Maybe it's just highly irresponsible. I don't know, John, but I have to ask the questions. When it first came up, I asked you in an email, John, have you checked all of your Amazon accounts to make sure, like all your, since you put this online? That's my first question. Nothing was accusatory, and you said yes. Your reply was yes, I have.
And I missed one item.
Okay. We're not going. I don't want to get this board. I don't want this board meeting to. It has devolved into an argument. It doesn't need to.
I'm not supposed to be speaking to the board.
That's right. But you have, and you are, and you took the floor. We're going to stop it. We are doing a financial review, and we hope to have that done when we have our next meeting in August, and have the detail and the questions answered. And it may not just, when we track down these debit card numbers that we're getting from the bank, and who had them and who did charges for what, I don't know. There may be other people that were involved on the board or had access to debit cards that maybe asked.
I'm the only one that had access to the debit card until I turned it over to Susan. She had access to it, which I think she very rarely, if ever, used the debit card.
Well, again, I don't know. I'm not trying to argue about anything, John. It's just an important issue for a lot of owners that want. They want to understand the scope of the use, and when we see things at Ace Hardware on tickets and charges that would not be for the COA, I mean, you know, you say, I don't know which.
Typically, what should have happened, Mark, in my opinion, is when the accountant got the bill and was gonna pay that bill, shouldn't they have a receipt or even call me and say, hey, do you approve this?
I would expect that the treasurer, I would expect the treasurer to have.
Payable paid anything without a damn receipt and put it on my, especially put it on my general ledger, unknowing to where they were even putting it, I would have it come apart.
Well, I would expect the treasurer to have been aware of those transactions because.
I didn't get the mail. Why would if I didn't get the mail and they were just paying bills randomly and I didn't do it, how would I know that?
Well, because there are bank statements that come in.
I had a girl that paid my bills and if she didn't have a receipt for something, she'd be
But John, I know you want the floor to argue and make everyone feel you're in the right. It's not gonna work.
I am in the right. Well, that's fine. I am in the right. So, you know, it was a mistake and I'll do it.
You can't be in the right to be a mistake at the same time.
Well, I'm in the right that it was not intentionally done.
I hope that's the case. I really do.
There's
really do.
not gonna be any hope about it. If you wanna investigate or do whatever.
It's not, it's just a review, it's not an investigation, it's a
I
review.
certainly don't need COA money. Not my problem.
I realize that, but there are transactions that we are now looking broader to Home Depot, to Ace Hardware, it's thousands of dollars of transactions. I'm hoping everything is for the COA. When you see things like pizza stones, you see things like stainless steel deck screws, $600, you see other things that like, and it adds up to thousands. You know, I wish I didn't have, Jane wished she didn't have to ask the
There's gotta be a
questions.
receipt for that somewhere
Well,
if
then that's what, and we're going back to, wow, man, you just want to have the floor, don't you, John? John, you just want to have the floor, don't you? We know how to do a financial review, thank you.
If you wanna do an audit, do an audit.
No, right now, we don't want to spend the money to do an audit. We're doing a review, and we will report back in August. Okay. The next subject matter is common area use enforcement. There's an issue, Bart's here. Bart has placed, without approval, to my knowledge of the board, haven't seen anything. He has placed a spotlight on a 4x4 post behind the A building, shining on the back wall to eliminate his sign at the top of the A building. He first had a extension cord running from the dock over the top of the wall, along the fence. I've asked that to be removed, it was not removed. Again, everybody wants to be right. I notified the building department, I notified the building department, and they said they were going to give him notice. I gave him Bart's contact number, etc. And after that, coincidence, or they did make contact with him, then Bart drilled through the back of his storage building. He trenched the ground, put in conduit, put in a all-weather outlet with a lock, and basically doubled down on the main issue. The primary issue was the placement, building, and putting in a spotlight. Now, as a side, who's paying the power on that? That's coming off Susan's power.
That's incorrect.
It is coming
That's
from
wrong, Mark.
Well, according to Susan, she pays the
Would
power.
you want to go look at the
building.
shed? No, it's coming off my meter, just like my signs are.
Well, she says
That's
it's-
incorrect.
well, then Susan, y'all discuss it, but, we have not
Would you like to-
approved
go ahead,
a
sir.
homemade spotlight to be installed in the common area.
It was installed December 24. I talked to Kelly. There was no approval process for it.
There's approval process. and-
Well, it's been there for a year and a half.
Well, it has been asked to be removed, and it is, you can't have people
There's no,
build.
I got it approved.
It's not.
There was no process to approve a post.
There's a process, just like we just went through on signage and whatever. It's not just people just go and put stuff
Oh,
out.
so that satellite that's back there was approved and all that. It's a utility area and it's a security light. I
It's
have
not
seen,
secure, it is to highlight your sign.
it is, but it illuminates the whole area.
Anyway.
It's very good for security.
It's there, I've given notice to Bart, I've given notice to his attorney, it remains there. He's drilled through the back of the storage building and put in permanent conduit supply to it. And there is a bright, always on spotlight.
No, it's on a dusk to dawn timer.
You know.
I mean, it's, your information's all
Well,
wrong.
okay, so when I walk, the picture I took this morning in broad daylight with the light shining, you tell me it's dusk to dawn?
It's dusk to dawn.
Well, let's see.
Sometimes the tree shades
Sometimes
it.
it don't work.
It
So,
is a dusk to dawn sensor,
at
Mark.
6:30 this morning, it's good
Okay,
daylight.
the sun
and
has to
Okay,
reach
well-
the dawn sensor.
my position is, we can't have individuals building personal projects out on common areas without approval
It
of
was
the board.
approved. It's been there for a year and a half.
There's no documentation. that
There's
I've
nothing
seen.
to approve a post. I
Okay,
mean,
so-
Christian knew about it. Was it Kelly Deere? It's like there was nothing to approve.
Christian is an employee of a restaurant there.
And
I
you know,
don't care
mean,
who knew about it. I don't care if somebody in the next
oh, I
condominium knew
understand,
about
but you don't
it.
care about being right with
No,
information.
I do.
None of what you're presenting is correct.
The board has not approved you to build improvements and build
That was a
floodlights.
different board. It's been there for a year and a
There's
half.
nothing's in the minutes where it was ever brought for the board.
There was nothing to, they said I didn't need to do anything. It's
So
in a utility yard.
My recommendation is to give Bart 7 days to get it removed. If he doesn't remove it, my recommendation is to pose a $500 fine for the unapproved improvements that's put on the common.
It was approved.
And it was not
And
approved
have
by
you
the
paid your
board.
$500 fine for harassing me?
And Bart, you need
Have
some,
you?
you need some mental health.
Have you?
treatment. need
Have
some
you?
mental
Because
health treatment.
you went on the record
No.
belittling me
I'm
personally,
not.
and you said that was a $500 fine. Have you paid it?
I didn't belittle you.
Yes, you
I
did.
said that you engaged in fraudulent activity.
And that's a lie. There's no evidence to back that up. It's slander.
There's a court case.
There's no.
And you're
There's.
accused
I'm
of
not
it.
even named.
You're accused.
You said I'm named. I'm not even named in the suit.
You're accused of it.
No, I'm not.
Anyway, okay.
And it means there's no evidence. You're wrong.
Okay.
You
Well,
pay your
we're not gonna
$500
litigate the
fine.
case here. You don't have any authority to.
I
fine
do.
me.
I have just as much as you.
No, I'm the president of the board. There's a difference.
I don't care. I'm an
I know,
owner.
I
You
know.
you broke the law, the rule. You made it the owners association. Now pay your fine. Pay your
You
fine.
need some mental health treatment.
Pay your
You
fine.
need some mental health treatment. You
Okay.
need some mental health treatment.
Pay. See, all you can do is
No.
belittle me
No, I'm not
when you're
belittling
wrong.
you.
Like,
I just don't
are
like
you
it.
a psychiatrist?
No, I know a mental health problem when I see it.
See, but you're doing it right now.
No.
I'm fining you another 500 right now.
No.
You can't just sit here and tell everybody. There's something wrong with me.
I'm gonna call the police. and have
Call
you
them.
removed.
You threaten everybody all the
He
time.
does, so he belittles, and like you said, we were at the meeting, there was the $500 fine that we've all talked about, and that's a whole different page, this is a. their
Okay,
board
but the
meeting.
the post was verbally
The
accepted.
other thing too is we are.
Hey, this is Mark
deciding
Ryan. I'm in a
that
meeting at the
that
Renaissance Bank
disclaimer
building and a
and
staff
that
meeting, and there is, I have a very belligerent individual that is disrupting the meeting that I'm gonna need some assistance with, please.
So it's continuous.
I
with
can
the
wait till
building.
he's done. Okay, I'll be glad to
Is he
listen.
being visible? Is he just?
He's
I
being
can't
very,
hear you.
very verbally, we is disrupting the meeting and we're.
You're calling, telling me I need. He says I need mental health.
Yeah.
No.
He's insulting me
I'm
repeatedly.
just saying,
I'm sorry,
what Susan and I were
Is he at
talking
work?
about was the
Is he
condominium in the
manifest?
building.
Okay.
he's in the building.
When I drive over and I can see your
Does he
sign.
work there?
it'd be
No, he
better
does
if
not
it
work
was-
there. We're having a meeting, we're using their facility by
It would
permission.
be better if it was illuminated,
No,
like
that's
the others,
just
but
the
in the box. the
Well,
way
see,
we
and
do
if
ours.
anybody had asked me for that, Jane, when I got it approved, I'd have done it, you
I
know.
wasn't on the board,
Well,
but
but I mean,
it seems like we're making Jeff do it, or having the new guy do it. It just seems like the easiest way to do it would just be follow along.
okay. I mean, I'm not opposed to
Doesn't that make
anything.
sense?
You know, I guess the
Say again.
like I said, the post.
What's your phone number?
I talk. Okay,
251-209-3822.
But I mean, I did do. I mean, Susan knows I had gone overboard to do things the correct way.
I
No, Mr.
understand
Ryan, I'll get
both
somebody out there.
sides,
If
but
you
I
change
really
it, give us a
do.
call back.
And
Thank you.
Since I'm across the front of the building and around, I had 4 of those light boxes that I had to make and put up. And
Did Jeff Tubbs make yours? Because I know he did a lot of the stinkers.
no.
He does the, neon signs.
Okay, I have contacted, for those of you attending by Zoom, I've contacted Orange Beach PD to come assist with Bart's outburst and disruption, but
They
um,
made me 2 new boxes.
I made a
Changed out all
motion
my boxes.
regarding
And I took pictures of
a
it. I think it was-
fine giving 7
And
days
when
to
I come, like I
remove
said, when I drive over to
the
Omaha
unauthorized
and see your
improvement,
sign, I just always think
or
it'd be
$500
better
fine plus
to
$100
have
per
it
week thereafter if it remains
I
there.
mean, I ain't got
Is
no
there a
problem with
second?
that. I don't. I mean,
That's all
the
I'm
thing
saying.
Who's
is,
that? I gotta write that down.
so,
This is Jeff.
you know, I have to,
Okay, Jeff.
because I had gotten permission before.
Okay, there's a
I have to
motion,
get on
second.
Charter
Any
Landing
further
to get
discussion?
to it with a lift.
But you could see if you could coordinate.
Okay,
with the
all in
others.
favor, say aye.
I just
I'm
think
not-
that
Okay, let me get that, everyone's voices, my video's turned off. Who's that?
Coleman,
Coleman, aye.
Yeah,
Jeff, aye. Okay, I'm aye. Jane, your
Aye.
vote, aye. Okay, Susan? yay or nay? Aye or nay?
I wanna abstain, cause I have some
Okay,
questions.
Susan abstains, alright. Alright, that is a majority, so there's 7 days to, and I'll send an email out to his attorney, there's 7 days to remove the unauthorized, floodlight, and otherwise be a $500 fine, be an assessment against the unit. That is all we had for today's, meeting agenda.
To be corrected, you said $500 fine.
Yeah, after 7 days, give him 7 days to have it removed, and then a $500 fine, it'll be $100 per week thereafter it stays. So he's got till next Friday, Memorial Day.
And all the information y'all voted on was incorrect.
Hang on a minute.
So the next issue that's not on the agenda I wanna talk about though, cause it's coming up
Wait, let me
present.
back up for
Yeah.
1 second.
Yes,
We were discussing the signs on building A,
yes.
and everybody said Jeff needs to change his sign for continuity. I can't remember the other guy.
Speak up, they can hear you. please.
Ox needs to
Yeah.
change his sign
Onyx.
for Onyx, sorry about that. My suggestion is, for Bart to just comply with a lens and a light box like
Yeah,
everybody
and I don't
else.
have a problem with
And he
that.
said he's fine with that.
That's
Yeah.
fine.
So why don't, instead of
Yeah.
paying a bunch of fines,
Well,
take-
number
take
one,
the
we're leaving
thing
on vacation for a week in the morning at 6 a.m. So obviously we, need to
well, I mean,
extend that, but I will be glad to put up, nobody asked me to put a box sign up
and
when I got
see,
it
that's
approved.
what was glaringly missing from the
Yeah,
conversation.
well, and that was,
And I
just,
think it would look it would just look better, it would give
I'm
you more
fine with
exposure.
it. It
And maybe
didn't
you
work
could
for long.
Coordinate with Jeff with the lift and just,
Yeah,
you know.
no, I'm fine with that.
okay.
I mean, I'll be glad to make it, and again, I mean,
That
I'm not
way-
saying
that
Jeff,
way-
when I
that
say
way-
Jeff
that way
Tubbs,
you
he's the
can-
one that sold the
Okay.
sign, and he's like, this is what we'll do. I was,
Okay,
okay.
well, that's
But
another.
but that's another, but this would alleviate you paying fines.
Okay.
And if you're going out of town for a week, ask.
Yeah,
John
what
or
about this?
somebody
I'll
to
turn the light
disconnect your
off, I'll
spotlight.
depower the light.
And then.
I mean,
instead
we
of-
did run-
instead
we
of
did go-
wasting money on fines.
Oh yeah, I spent
get a new
$1,000 for an electrician to pipe the power in there to
And-
try
And
to,
it could have
get along.
been done with a lit
The
sign.
next item is about insurance. There's another,
So hold on, let's,
insurance.
no, you just
We are
harassed
having
him.
a board meeting,
I
and the
understand.
police are on the way to escort you out of this meeting, so. I would
And they're gonna
ask
see what you
to-
said to me.
You sitting around recording is fine.
It is.
I'm
trying to resolve the issue.
No, I've sent multiple requests. I'm not gonna argue with you about it. It wasn't approved. We
It
made a
was
motion.
approved, you're wrong.
Okay, that's right. Yes, sir. Yeah, no, we're having a board, I called you, we're having a board meeting, Sand Rock board meeting. There's a non-board member here, has a right to attend. He's become we went through a process.
Let's when you talk here to
Okay,
you, then you talk again in just a second.
Sure.
Okay. Alright.
yeah, so,
Alright, I mean, I just shouldn't have to, if we could just keep it on subject and get the personal out of it.
You gotta learn how to, don't get, he's gonna always know how to rile you up. He
Yeah.
knows how to push your button, so just, decide.
I mean, if y'all
I'll
would
give
just,
you a little phrase that my mother always told me, and everybody's probably already heard this, but when you fight with a pig, everybody gets
It's
dirty,
gonna be dirty.
and the pig likes it.
that's true.
So you just gotta
I
stop.
agree, no, I agree, and
Just-
look, y'all want a box sign, I will, but I can't do this
But
overnight.
no, I
No.
understand that, but don't you understand by coordinating, it's
Nobody's
not-
ever told me that,
That's right.
in
and
5
And
years.
that's
So-
really odd that
That's-
never came
It
up, but
never
I
did.
wasn't on the board
No,
before,
and
so.
that's what I was going to say. I wasn't on the board, but I was at the meeting when you came and you gave the proposal
And it got approved.
and it was approved, and so that's the fault of the board. The part that's missing is maybe, I'm saying maybe, you had a conversation with Kelly and he said, yes, that's fine, but it never made it to the
It
record.
didn't make it to the record.
And as far
Exactly.
as the power, I told Mark, it has to be coming off of me because there's no other meter that I'm aware of, but obviously you're
No,
telling me
that'd
something I
take
don't
us-
know.
No, because I had to get shore power for the boat years ago.
But the
And
thing is, it's all beside.
But if
the
it's
point.
coming out of that
It's all
shed.
No, it's coming, we ran a conduit from upstairs, my panel, I put a 60 amp breaker, and we ran a conduit down the wall and buried it.
There are.
I'll show it to you. I mean, I have a sub panel. No, I mean, in fact, I got a picture of it.
I'm
This
sure
stuff that you pulled straight
No, but I
from
would not
ChatGPT
be running your
or-
power.
And I told Mark, I said, Mark, it's probably $15 a month, I'm not worried about it.
No, I mean, no,
Cause I
'cause-
told him, I said, I'm not even gonna,
There's two banks.
but and I did bring it to Mark's attention
We
because it
first
was
got
my
on the board,
concern.
remember when
I had never
Paul was
paid
doing
attention
all
to
that
the
maintenance, so
electrical
you might
cord
find some
coming
of
out. I
those
said, that
people
can't be
don't know how
safe.
it's done. I don't
And
know that.
anyway, but
And you might
the
find some
power's
good
at least in my
stuff,
work.
But if I
but
promise
it's
you, it's coming off of
communication
me.
instead of
Cause I had to have
this
30, I
one
mean,
sends
30
out
amps to run the
just
boat.
nasty.
The AC and all in the boat.
I
It
see
has
it all.
degraded
We- you know,
everybody.
I see it.
We didn't
I
have that.
see
I mean, we
it all,
didn't,
and
it
I
was,
understand.
so I had to,
You
I
know,
brought it down
everybody's
and,
got their buttons.
yeah, so all I did was,
And these
I
two-
punched through and ran
these two
a pipe in
push
the
each
power
other's
for the
buttons. Same
client.
thing with
Which I don't, you know, I mean, like,
It's like, just.
it's a, you know, I mean, nothing
let's
happens
just not
back
do
there,
that.
and it really is,
It wastes
gives a lot of life for security, but,
And-
okay.
and
I mean, I feel like it
it's
just,
like everybody's
We'll get going
blood
on
pressure
that.
goes up.
all right,
Can we speak to you, Ira?
okay, sure,
Again, I'll be happy to talk to you.
okay.
But everybody's blood pressure goes up, and it's like,
All
you
right.
know, women have more heart disease, and that's the number one cause of our deaths.
Cause we hold it right here.
Because we hold it right here, it's true.
Mhm.
And I mean, I'm a cancer survivor, and it's much bigger than, you know, you think, oh, what's the biggest, you know, what's the main reason people die? For women, it's heart issues.
It's unknown. They don't even know,
Because
they don't know that
there's
like, oh,
just-
stuff's clogged up and.
We are under so much more,
You know, I had burps, what I was
We-
doing, sorry, I took a drink of that water, I was like.
but it's just, to me, it's not worth the toll,
It's not.
you know?
And
It's
this is-
like, it's like, what do they say, drinking, poison and expecting the other person to die?
Suffer, yeah.
You can't let it, you can't live in it.
No.
You can't live in the ugly.